Hi, I'm Francisco Gonzalez, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to play chess. First of all, you need to learn the pieces' names and what they look like. The shorter ones are the pawns, and there's 8 of these in the front row. Next is the rook, and this is the one that looks like a castle. Then you have the knight, which is the horse-looking like one. Next up is the bishop, which just kind of looks like a pawn, but it has like the little thing right here, and it's just taller. And then you have the king and queen. The king is the one with the cross on the top, and then the queen is it's kind of the other one. I don't really know how to describe it. And then next, what you'll need to know is how the pieces move. So the pawn, the first ones, they can only move one space forward like this. And the only way they can attack is they can only take a piece in a diagonal like this. They can't take a piece if it's directly in front of them. And if you manage to get one of the pawns to the back row, you can exchange it for any piece you would like. Next is the rook. The rook can move as much as it wants forward or to the sides. And it can take like this, just basically anything that's in its way. It can only take like that. Next is the knight. The knight is probably the hardest piece to move. It moves in shape of an L. So if it were right here, it can move 2 and then 1 across. So it can go 1 and then 2, basically like an L. So it goes 2, then 1, or you go 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. So basically anywhere like that. So if it were starting here, you can move right here, or you can move right here. Next is the bishop. They can move in diagonal as much as they want. So it can only move this way like this. They can't go forward to the sides. Next is the queen, which has the most movement. It can move forward vertically or horizontally, and it can also move diagonally. So this has the most movement out of everything. And then next is your king, and the king can only move around right here. So it can only move one space, but it can move any direction it wants. So like this, like this, like this, like this. And then how to set up the board. So you get your pawns, just your second to last row. Those are all pawns. And then the rooks are on the outside. Next to them you have the knights. And then next to them you have the bishops. And then after that you have the king and then the queen. And basically the objective of the game is to checkmate the opponent's king. So the checkmate is when the opponent's king is incapable of moving in any direction. So this would be an example of it. So like this. If your king was over here, he can't move here because the queen will kill it. It can't go here. It can't stay there. It can't go here because it will get it. It can't stay here. You can try taking the queen, but then it'll still be in check because this is covering that space, so you can't take the queen. So this would be considered a checkmate. And that's basically how you win the game. Thanks for listening. Hopefully this helps.